welcome to the BPD Bunch. I'm your host, Zanny, and today I'm here with Mo, Georgette, Raf, Jack, Celine, and Andrea. We're continuing our conversation from Wednesday about BPD and social media. If this or other BPD-related topics interest you, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you do not miss anything. Today we're going to be talking about BPD and overusing social media. So, have you ever felt like you were addicted to social media or like you were struggling to use it an appropriate amount?
Yes, I have. Yeah, you get caught in a loop of like, what I've just wasted 3 hours. What was I doing? And I have nothing to show for it. So yes, I have felt like, I don't think it's an addiction. It's just more of like I've spent more time than I meant to on here. So I actually rearranged my phone, like how the apps are on my phone. I like put my social media stuff in a folder, so it's 2 clicks away. And then I put it on the third screen. So it was like, it's harder to do. I don't know how much that actually helped, but it was almost like putting more steps in before I can get on there. But I also try to just stay really aware of like, do I want to look back and say that I spent 3 hours here tonight?
A while back, particularly before getting medicated, that was a bit of a thing, being concerned with being addicted to it. Now I'm kind of, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. I'm kind of always doing something good for me. Whether it's just like work, running events, gym, all that sort of stuff. The downside of that is I don't have a lot of nothing time, a lot of, downtime to just smooth brain for a bit. And I've noticed when I do get a little bit more like hooked onto social media is when I start using social media during my nothing time. Because my nothing time for me to actually feel like relaxed or whatever, like going for a walk, listening to music, playing Zelda, doing something like stuff like that. But I've noticed, particularly like over the last 2 weeks as well, when it's been like particularly stressful, as soon as I get to nothing time, I'm almost instinctively pulling out my phone. And then quickly, I'll just check things for a while. And the amount of time I use it is actually still pretty short, but it's still kind of that instinctive like, oh, I've got 20 seconds or I've got a minute. Let's quickly whip it out. And then that's a weird way to say that. But like, let's quickly like check out social media. And
You gonna whip it out, Ross?
I will look at my phone.
Mo's face.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll be like, all right, cool. I've got like a quick 30 seconds. Let's look at my phone and see what's up. And that's kind of one of the first times I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I am like, kind of what George said. I wouldn't say it's addicted, but it's kind of like one of those signs where it's like, oh, okay, some part of me hasn't resolved something, whether it is getting enough rest or eating enough or, keeping on track of my meds. Because as soon as I'm looking to my phone as a way to use my nothing time, then I'm like, oh, something's up. Something's going down. I feel like the feeling addicted to it is a thing. And to help with that, I try to, instead of being like, oh, fuck, I just did that, or I just pulled my phone out, or whatever, whenever that happens and I notice it, I'd be like, oh, fucking good job on me for noticing that and putting it down. And kind of counting those wins. So every time I do it, I'm like, oh, sweet, cool, don't need to do it.
So I think I found out that I was addicted when it was more of the dog account, because I was obsessed like whenever there was contests. I mean, and I think as far as bringing in the BPD into that, it was all of that connection and like the liking and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, everybody loves my dog, so I would put him in these contests. And then just like, I don't really see anybody do this anymore, but if somebody like just goes to your page and like likes, and then you would screenshot like, oh, look at all these likes I got. Thank you so much, so-and-so account, and it just became obsessive for me. Like, I was like, dude, this is like a job. Like, I'm like man's manager, and it just never ended for me. And I just remember like my friend was like, you're addicted to social media. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's for the dog. But like, after a while, once it kind of became, because it was, just the dog, and then it was she and dog named Man. It wasn't as intense. I wasn't getting that same excitement that I was getting by just showing him off. But as far as being addicted, I think that those were the times where I was like, oh my gosh, I really was obsessed with showing off my dog. And at the same time, I was still able to hide behind it. So it wasn't like me, it was Man. So
Yeah, what you said about work, I think it's really interesting because we're now in a time where even if you're not like trying to be an influencer, anyone with a business or a small business, you feel compelled to use social media for work because it's free exposure, right? But you end up having like multiple jobs. If you use social media both sort of in your downtime and for work, one of the struggles for me has been that I spend a lot of time on social media and I feel compelled to check things on a regular basis. And I've convinced myself in the past that this is work. This is work. I'm looking at Reels for hours so that I can get some inspiration for some video I'm gonna do. But if I really think about it, I did that before it was my job. Like even when I was just a consumer, like I would look at things and I would tell myself, this is inspiration for my projects. I'm looking at Reels for hours so that I can get some sort of inspiration for some fun thing I'm going to do, right? There's always a rationalization. And it's taken me a while to realize that my brain just likes, flipping through things because it's kind of mindless. But I never really feel great afterwards. And half the time I can't even remember all the things that I've seen in those hours. It's difficult to set boundaries with that, especially if the rationalization is work or inspiration. If you can give yourself some strong reason why it's justified, it becomes really hard to put it down because you're just like, oh yeah, this is for work. This is for inspiration. This is for school. This is for education. This is for whatever. Then it's not an addiction. This has a purpose. And I don't know if I would ever say it's like I'm actually addicted to social media, but it's definitely become something at times in my life where it's just like so habitual that I have to actively work to do other things.
For me, when I noticed that my consumption of social media is higher than usual, it usually means that I'm ruminating about something, or I'm legitimately trying to run away from something that I know is coming up. I know I need to get done. Literally, it's like I'm thinking about the past, and I'm just trying to, fill my brain up with a bunch of useless stuff as I can, so I can stop thinking about it. Or I know that's I got something I need to take care of that I'm just too scared to actually confront right now. I know that's for me. I'm not sure. Everybody's different, but for me, it's always one of those two things: think about the past, or trying to run away from something that I know needs to handle. And this once I realize that, I know what work I have to do to put down my phone or close my computer to go do what I need to do.
The one time, like a period where I can say I like a really got addicted, and kind of plays in with what Zanny said about justifying it as work. Because with me, I remember when during COVID, when I first started like one of the businesses, like music mastering stuff, I was on TikTok hours and hours and hours a day, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, all right, cool, I need to get my morning post done. I was posting like 3 to 4 times a day, getting everything out, building this business up, all that sort of stuff. And the rationale at one point was, oh, it's work, so I can do it. And it was this like double-edged sword where, it was work and I was actually getting pretty good business out of it. But I would find myself constantly looking to see, how well did that video do? How many comments did it get? All that sort of stuff. And I became full-on addicted, where I burnt out so hard on it. I kept on working through my burnout. I remember one morning I woke up and I was like, sweet, wake up. Went up and picked up my phone, went to tap TikTok, and my hand physically threw the phone away. With like no actual trying to do it. My phone just went like no and just threw it away. It was like just being able to justify it with it being work and making it all work. My body had a physical reaction to it. That addiction of you know, the dopamine addiction of likes, points, whatever, but also, I'm validating my own self-worth because it's work and look how well I'm doing. It just magnifies onto itself, and it can be really, really intense and really hard to know that it's happening until your body physically throws your phone away.
Yeah, not having boundaries between work and life.
Yeah.
Is a problem.
Like when you said that, I was like, oh wait, I remember a time. It was intense.
You know, I think this is something that a lot of folks struggle with, not just people with BPD, is just spending so much time on social media. And I'm guilty of it too. I try to obviously like limit the amount of time that I spend on social media. But yeah, I've noticed my kids let me know when I've been on social media too long, because they'll kind of, like, my youngest will definitely start acting out and doing stuff to get my attention. But even my older boys, I've noticed that they have a lot more of difficult behaviors when I don't pay enough attention to them. And that's because I'm on social media. So I try very hard to keep myself in check with that.
I struggle with pulling myself away from social media, probably more on my personal page as well. And I really monitor my screen time on that. And I think it's partly to do with work taking up so much of my time that I sort of revenge scroll in the morning or before bed, where I'm trying to take back some control of my life, and really I'm just doing myself a disservice when I could be getting up and maybe doing a stretch or getting an early night. So I've been trying to really monitor that.
Thank you everyone so much for watching. We hope you got a nugget of wisdom to take with you on your journey. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you do not miss anything. We have a couple of extra brunch episodes, but this mostly wraps up season 4. We'll be back with season 5 in the fall, and we will see you then.
Peace.
Hey.